Yeah, and on the sort of side of OG, what obviously the Tops and Grimstroke coming in again. You sort of look what it's playing up against. You think this is a game where Topson's got a pretty good future ahead of him in this match?
I would just say they have a nice balance of guys that go in and guys that sit back. I think Grimstroke's very much enabled by the teammates that he has. He has a lot of nice Inkswell targets, even in the support Pangolier. It's a great person to just throw into the middle of the fight. And it's going to be really difficult, I think, to get on top of him. And it's going to be a lot on Limp as well as Nico Baby to manage to kind of sneak back.
Yeah, we'll see how well Limp can do here in the mid matchup. I mean, Limp Puck, definitely one of the finest pucks in the industry. Well, we'll see how well sort of a lead he can get against Topson, or if Topson's going to cause issues for him in the laning stage. I mean, let's start looking at the side lanes. We started to hear from the panel some of the strengths they thought were going on for the duos. Is there any sort of matchup you think that's going to be hard for one of the teams here?
Get used to it.
I'm definitely curious about bottom, because as we see, Seb actually levels his stun level 1 just to make sure that Sox's Illuminate hits. I think Nico Baby's going to struggle a bit, because once he gets some points up in the armor, Seb, he's not really going to care about the damage that Weaver's outputting, and thus he can kind of just play up in his face. Weaver's got pretty low base armor. I love the DK pick. I think it was the best pick of the draft. It basically said we have a super tanky stunner that you can't do anything to, that can find any of your squishy cores out.
And sort of the overall game, how does it look for a carry Weaver? You know, is this a game where Nico Baby's going to have a lot of difficulties ahead of him when you see what he's playing into?
I legitimately don't know what item build he's going to go for. Like, I would lean towards Maelstrom SNY, because you have a lot of enablers to keep you alive, and you just need to survive through the disables that Seb's going to dish out with maybe like a quick follow-up from the Grimstroke. But he might just have to go for that early BKB, and if you've got a Wisp behind you and a Beastmaster Aura buffing you up, that's just not what I would deem like a feels good. You know, you're excited to go BKB second item on Weaver.
I think one thing that's definitely going to be fun to keep our eyes on this game when we look over to the carry of OG, Mid1 on his Ember. We've seen it from Mid1 in these games. He likes to bring something a little new to the table sometimes with his builds. Do you think there's going to be any sort of inventive items coming out from Mid1 this game?
I would be pleasantly surprised if he goes for the Boots of Travel Midas.
On the Ember, let's go. Yeah.
I think it's probably going to be a Desolator. I would like to see as his like damage item. They've got a lot of magic damage, and they've also got low armor cores. Weaver starts with 3 or 4. Puck starts with about 0, and he could really make it so that they just get blown up before they can even react.
See bottom. Again, just sort of Seb and Sax are getting a lot of damage done here. Opening with the Dragon Tail, and still no points to the passive, just going full on the offensive here, Seb. The 2 in the breath and the setup, of course, with the stun. CS, though, down bottom. Seeing Nico Baby not have any trouble at all. 16 last hits against Seb's 12 and 3. And the mid matchup for now, kept pretty even here between Limp and Topson. I guess both heroes with solid nukes to just sort of bounce the lane back and forth between each other.
I would imagine mid's pretty much just a trade. They both have reliable ways to CS. They can both avoid the other person's nukes. I don't see how they could ever really deny each other much at all. This is interesting. You don't really see the DK skill build like this at all, but I guess the Keeper of the Light Chakra Magic really does enable certain wonky skill builds that are usually mana limited.
And on the top half of the map, S4 still finding, you know, not quite as much as Seb is on the respective offlane on the other side, but still not getting completely zoned out. Thanks to the presence of FNG. FNG taking the time to move over towards mid. They're going to look to try and set up onto Topson. Topson is going to inkswell himself, forcing Limp to jump away, keep his distance, but Topson's very low right now. Phantom's Embrace and the nuke going to be dodged very nicely by Limp with the phase shift. And Topson, what's he got coming out on the on the courier? Has he got any regen? He hasn't. So Topson's going to have to take the walk all the way back to base. So a nice bit of pressure there from FNG on the mid, giving Limp a free wave or so.
Yeah, the pace of the game tends to ramp up a lot around the 5-minute catapults and bounties, and I've been seeing a lot of mids who end up not getting the bottle refill at 4 minutes, choose to just go back to base. It seems pretty common nowadays, so don't fret if you find yourselves in your games in a similar spot.
Yeah, back to lane now. No tail whilst the space was there. Able to hang around, make sure that the XP wasn't missed out upon. See, coming in for the 5-minute runes, No tail is going to step up down bottom. Nico Baby trying to get aggressive onto Saxa. Stun will hold him back. Does he want to try and chase for the call? He won't. Might start to have to think about these 5-minute runes already. Top in the river, FNG. With that fish here, make sure that he's able to pick it up before No tail is. And Limp coming across to get that one on their half. I mean, it's 2 for 2 on the bounties.
For my cause. Just what I've been waiting for.
I mean, all in all, a very close and passive start. Nobody yet to fall here 5 minutes in between Alliance and OG.
I like the skill build from Member. They don't really have any aggressive potential because Pangolier's a relatively weak laning 5 position, and the fact that you have this really strong laning independent Ember Spirit allows for you to have this Pango. So he's kind of just choosing to go for the constant harass with Slight, but then he's going to still enable his own farm and also ways to deal with the wave so that Beastmaster can't really set up any tower pushes by going for no points in the Searing Chance.
Sitting around the mid lane again, FNG. He's come across again, Alliance just having the superior control around these power runes. Limp able to grab that DD up, and now they've got to be on the ready here. He has hit level 6, but actually not opting for a point in the Dream Coil quite yet, Limp.
Huh. I guess that does speak to the pace of the game. Both teams, I think once they get to those timings, it's gonna be from 100 to or 0 to 100 real quick. But as of right now, it looks like this is the first time I've ever seen somebody skip ult on Puck. But if the Earthshaker intends on staying mainly around the Beastmaster top, then I don't think he will ever have the solo kill potential.
Yeah, I mean, and skipping it again. Yeah, hits level 7, still not putting a point in the Dream Coil. I mean, as you say, if he doesn't need it, he doesn't need it.
This is just confidence on a hero, like to go this really wonky skill build. You saw the DK bottom. You see the Puck skipping the coil here. These guys have definitely been in this spot before, and they just know what to expect coming in the next few minutes.
See top lane, S4 now with the Necro book out, putting a lot of pressure onto Midbon. I mean, Midbon's just out of mana. He's just dead. Ooh, K-Stick charge on the Sleight of Fist. He gets the Remnant out, but he hasn't got enough to jump to it. I mean, that Necro book just destroyed Midbon. He just slowly let himself get beaten down and the mana taken out of him. See over towards mid, Limp. Trying to play aggressive in onto Thompson. TP backup coming in for OG. FNG's there on the side with Limp to back him up. He's got the DD as well here on Limp if he wants to get back in. Stepping over to FNG, finds the setup. Extra damage coming through from Saxon with the Illuminate. Limp still able to jump in and clean up the mid kill. As Thompson goes down, an extra TP coming over from OG. They're bringing in Midbon. They're going to look to try and get the catch onto Limp, but Limp, he's more than fine, of course, with this skill build. As you say, no points in chain, so they don't have the setup, and Limp's able to get out of there.
I like what Alliance is doing. These early moves are really nice. They're pressuring multiple points on the map. They're getting some nice kills, but yet OG still has the lead. You can see that all 3 cores are farming really well.
As he said that, and that haste rune just allowing him to get straight back down to the bottom lane. We'll see him farm up the blink on the DK to make sure that OG's got that solid initiation. As you mentioned, a great target for Thompson to buff up with the Ink Swell and have that first jump in. See now, Limp at his level 8, holding on to the point. So does have the point ready to drop if he sees an opportunity to get active, potentially on the side lanes with the Dream Coil.
The best thing for OG that the Beastmaster War, even though it got the kill on the Ember, it didn't result in a tower or any like loss of farm. The Pango took over the lane. They were still farming the mid lane, and we might see a repeat here. S4.
I mean, again, just this mana burn from the Necro books just causing such an issue here for Midbon. It's easy kills anytime he shows in the lane here. 2 times now, S4. Just he's loving life up there. Down bottom, they're going to try and make the aggressive move onto Seb, setting up with the Dream Coil. Have they got enough damage to break down this Dragon Knight? Seb tries to turn, holds back the one of them, but it's not enough to stop him from going down. Tips out as well here from Nico Baby. As top lane, even hunting in the trees to See if they can get Notel too. This,
No swash.
again, just the power of S4 and this early Necrobook timing that he can get on the Beastmaster. I mean, I've never seen sort of the rush get so many kills. You know, sure, you know, getting it this fast, you're going to have that pressure. But they've already lost 3 heroes on this top lane to the Necrobook.
Yeah, they're electing to leave the Coddle bottom to help enable the DK's pressure there, rather than try to alleviate some pressure top, which is interesting. And they're definitely paying the price for it on the side of OG. But yeah, this is a 10th pick Beastmaster. It's a really good Beastmaster game at this stage. They have a lot of point-click targets to, you roar them, they're gonna die. And also, the Earthshaker setup to make sure he can reliably get the roar off on a hero like Ember is quite nice. But just notice how OG just has so much wave clear that even when they're getting these kills, they're getting these dives. Now OG's finally going to make their rotation, and DK's ultimate is at the ready, and they might be the first to take an objective despite a lot of these early kills going towards Alliance.
Now see how much pressure they can put on. Top lane, FNG gets it again! Fisher into Roar, into Goodbye Mana. I mean, these two are just crushing this top lane. Like, Midbon, he's died here 3 times now, Brian.
Yeah, that one might just be... At what point do you call it feeding?
Bottom lane, ooh, I'm gonna have that blast to the side, knocks FNG away before he pops the Echo. So OG able to keep the majority of them out of the range of that setup attempt. As OG, can they chase here? Alliance doing a good job of just getting away. They have lost the tower, but not losing any unnecessary heroes here, Alliance, as they could just keep themselves completely out of there. Of course, with all these kills S4's got up top, he's now able to finish off the tower. And here, 11.5 minutes in, he's already got the level 3 Necrobook.
Jesus. Yeah, 3rd time's the charm. Do get the tower off the 3rd kill on mid one. I wonder who they're going to have take over the top lane. Will it be one of the supports? Pangolier and Coddle are both good options. Looks like they are going to send Soxa top. Look, if they're going to feed somebody now, at least it hopefully won't be a super high value target.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Absolutely, yeah. Midbon's got to find his space elsewhere on the map. How's his farm going? He's got the Javelin, yeah, just trying to rush that Maelstrom here to help him sort of pick his game back up, as he's, I mean, understandably, with those 3 deaths that he had up there, falling a little bit behind on the Ember. See bottom, Seb. See if he can get the walk in, but TP is already coming over towards the outpost. Alliance there, more than happy to fight this. They're just going to turn straight towards Seb. Notel and Tops, and they're up on the high ground. Seb getting burst low. Good angle with the Rolling Thunder, though. Notel catching onto the 3 of them. Inkswell stun follow-up onto Limp. Limp, can he live here? Handscape providing the heals. The face shift dodges the sleight of fist, but the chains are up. Mid-one's able to lock him down. They'll kill off Limp. Nico Baby with the time, that will manage to get his way out. As at the same time on the top half of the map, S4 picks up another. Takes out Saxa. So they may have got Limp, but they've still lost 2 overall. Midbon's continuing to try and chase onto Hansken. With Nico Baby by his side, OG have to hold back. They can't dive in any further onto these 2.
It's nice to see that OG lives the same life that I live when they play against Beastmaster this patch. Whoever goes to the top lane is just gonna die. I know we all talk about the memes of the dead lane and everything, but this Beastmaster hero is ridiculous. There's this like fight going on bottom, and S4, he hasn't moved. Like, if you see his heat map, it's just the top lane. That's all it is. He's just been sitting there pushing it in, roaring whoever shows up when his Necrobook's available. And since that cooldown got reduced in 7.28, that's pretty much all the time.
This is yeah, some pretty flawless Beastmaster play here from S4 so far. They're going to try and make a gank onto him. Notel trying to close in with the Thunder. And what sort of backup is there? FNG's waiting in the shadows. So as Notel, he's going to be fine there. FNG not quite able to block him in with the Fisher. As Notel gets out, but again, you know, those 4 of OG trying to sweep across. They really want to slow down S4's game, but unable to do so there, as S4 is going to continue to have all the space that he wants up it.
That is such good map awareness from S4. He has been aggressive for 14 minutes in a row, and the one time they make a move on him, he was fully aware of it. He was backing off before they even got there, and it's so important he stays alive. He's 5-0.
Yeah, this is
#1 net worth.
This couldn't be any better for him so far, and he's ready to turn it into a 6-0. He's in with the smoke with FNG. They get the setup on a Notel. There it is. It's going to be another one for him. for sure. Maybe not with the swashbuckle, the slow. Still causing issues. No tail. He's got nowhere to roll out. And the damage from these Necro books, it's too much here. Another kill for S4. Completely unstoppable on this Beastmaster. And hey, would you look at that? In perfect position to start having a bit of a chip at the tier 1 tower mid.
As the progression for Beastmaster, you take the top tower and eventually you look to invade the mid tower, whether you casually walk there, whether you turn it from a smoke gank. Even though it gets denied, that's just such an important tower to take at this stage against a hero like DK, where he wants to take your mid tower. I know it's not a mid DK, but the team that takes the first mid tower makes it much harder for the other team to reciprocate.
Trying to hunt down Limp. Orb's already out. He's able to jump away. And we're seeing this a few times now. You know, OG tried that sweep on S4 up top. They're trying to get Limp in the jungle. Alliance doing a really good job this game of staying a bit of a step ahead of OG and making it hard for OG to make these aggressive moves that they kind of need to succeed with the lineup that they have.
Yeah, Necrobook 3 is dead, so this should just be a free tower mid, I would assume. But thus far, Alliance, like you said, their moves have been quite crisp. And I would say that I don't know what they do without the Beastmaster's Book 3. That is really the hero. So glad to see they agree and they back off. Weaver, he's got, yes, the Maelstrom, no boots, Sanj.
Oh,
okay.
He's trying to get in onto FNG. And with Seb's follow-up, he'll have it.
Yeah, I like this Weaver build a lot. You don't need boots necessarily when you have the IO and Sakuchi, but the Sanj makes his game so much easier to play, because he'll be able to much more reliably survive through that initial volley of spells, buffs up the healing he gets from the IO, and OG looks to want to make a move top.
It's a tricky one to catch, though, especially with Hansken by his side, and Hansken's already ready to take him out with a relocate.
Yeah, that was never going to work, I think. Alliance just has really good positioning on the map. Really good awareness, like Puck was always, Limp was instantly ready to dodge that gank. S4 dodged the smoke gank earlier. And Hansken, I guess that's the price they pay, and I'm sure OG kind of expected that to be the end result if IO was behind him.
Able to find, I think, something out of that move, but still 9-5, just a 1k lead. It is close. Alliance.
So he's got the Boots of Travel Midas Ember version. He's going Maelstrom into Boots of Travel.
Alliance with this smoke might catch one of them walking up here. Yeah, Raw down onto mid one. You're going to have Seb jump in for the backlines, but the Fisher's already going to finish mid one off. As mid one goes down, Seb popping the Outer Dragon form, opting to try and fight, but he's completely out of mana thanks to the Necro Book. And Seb is going to get left behind. The rest of his team bailing on him. As Seb goes down, Nico Baby getting in aggressive with the chase onto Thompson. The silence from Limp and the damage here from this blade causing No-Tail to have to jump out. Thompson's also been split from the lineup as Thompson falls. Double kill for S4. As they're really struggling, OG here. Alliance are just each and every time creating this impenetrable defense that OG just can't seem to fight into right now.
Yeah, I almost feel like this is a bit lazy for mid one. He just walked up a high ground with no vision, with all of Alliance missing, and it definitely requires Alliance to be properly positioned at all times to punish that sort of move, but he was #1 net worth on his team despite the rough start that he had, and he just walked up the high ground and died instantly with no impact at all. And Alliance capitalizing to the max on that one. They're now up by 5,000 gold at 18 minutes.
Yeah, this is looking like such a cleaner Alliance compared to what we saw from them in the first series that they had here in the league. They definitely went away and did their homework, and they've tightened up their gameplay dramatically between that last series and what we're seeing from them now, as this is just top form Alliance here, and big smiles from S4. I mean, you can't blame him. He's 8-0-1 on his Beastmaster. He is having quite the game.
Yeah, I don't know if OG was ready for this. Alliance is playing so well. I feel like both drafts had nice win conditions, and Alliance's draft, I would say, was a bit more fragile in terms of the timings that it had to hit, the map control it had to siege early, and they are doing it.
See Seb, maybe looking for some sort of setup mid. It's got to be cautious though, as Hansken and Nico Baby there by the side, and of course Hansken ready at a moment's notice to bring Nico Baby straight into the action. There's bounty runes coming up soon. Seb, he's going to jump in on this. I mean, there's a relocate coming over. Okay, he has got Saxa by his side, but already Limps jumped in on the backlines with the Dream Coil. Seb is dead. As the Thunder comes out, but the Fish is in place. Nico Baby's going to start to poke at the backlines, looking towards Thompson. S4 just standing his ground with the BKB. As Nico Baby and FNG look to chase them down. Midbon's got to run, but the Echo slams out. Midbon's locked down into the silence. Midbon goes down. It's 3 dead on OG. Thompson's trying to run. He's out of mana. He's also going to fall. It's a team wipe. I mean, what is OG doing? They're just making it easy for Alliance. I mean, that was a pretty wild initiation from Seb, Brian.
Yeah, I feel like S4 had to work really hard for his earlier kills, but the last 2 have just been cores blinking or walking up high grounds into him.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I think OG is thinking to themselves that Alliance has to mess up. Like, we have to make these proactive plays, and if Alliance is not ready for them, they will work, but Alliance has been consistently in the right position, and it's just so clean.
Yeah,
I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, no, this is, I mean, as you say, I guess OG waiting for a mistake from Alliance. This Alliance doesn't look like it's going to make any mistakes this game. From what we've seen so far, I mean, how big their heroes are getting. Nico Baby, the next thing you know, he's going to have his Skadi complete. And then once he has that on top of the S and Y, there's going to be more than ample time for Hanskin to just get in every single time and offer up that extra bit of heal and sustain to make it very hard for OG to ever be able to burst through this Weaver. Bottom lane Limp, he's in with a setup onto Midbon. Midbon's down, Roar onto Notel, holding him in place in the Rolling Thunder. And they're just chasing for more. There's just no stopping here from Alliance. Straight over to Thompson. Thompson cannot do anything here against the full 5 of them surrounding him and taking him down. It's 20-5, 21 minutes in, 9k lead for Alliance as they are completely dominating OG.
When he's got the Wisp tethering him, the Necrobook move speed aura, and Sakuchi, he's at 700 plus movement speed on Nico Baby. So with that's without boots, for the record. The S&Y is actually more value because it's bonus % movement speed, which Sakuchi is flat bonus move speed. So he's getting, like, basically more than boots out of an S&Y. We were concerned about Weaver's survivability in tandem with his lack of damage early, but he has this Imp Claw as a nice neutral item, and he's able to skip the boots, so his other timings are coming online much earlier. Weaver does suffer with regen. Like, he's a hero that usually has to go for like a Falcon Blade or an earlier Lincoln Sphere against a hero like DK, but this IO is definitely enabling Nico Baby to just go for all of these luxurious items that feel really nice to buy.
See, bottom. I mean, Midbon tries to go in onto FNG, but Limps in with the backup. Coils down. Midbon getting burst low. Notel in with the Rolling Thunder to provide some safety for Midbon. He ticks down low. They do get FNG over to the side. Thompson was trying to join the team, but S4 puts him in position with the Roar. Saxon trying with the TP out. Is he going to make it away? He does. Only just, but again, Thompson dying. S4 continues to just sort of take whatever he wants it each and every time. The Roar's guaranteeing a kill, and there's no save from OG. As soon as S4 opens up onto someone, it's an easy kill for Alliance.
Hanskin has pinged Seb here. They obviously don't see him based on what we see with their wards, but they know that Seb was not at that fight, and he must be somewhere else, and there's not too many options left as Seb cleans up the triangle, trying to complete his BKB. I think that fight honestly wasn't that bad for OG. All things considered, there were a lot of narrow escapes coming out from them, and then in the meantime, Seb was completing a crucial item on the other side of the map. So this may be go time. I don't really know when there's a better go time for OG. BKB from DK, he has Blink BKB at this point. I don't even know if it's enough. Like, the raw damage now might just be too overwhelming, despite the fact that DK was meant to be tanky in this game.
Yeah, I know, just Nico Baby, so huge. I mean, we're 24 minutes in. Maelstrom S&Y Skadi, as we saw there on the numbers, it's just under 3 minutes faster than what you can normally expect to see on a Weaver. As they're looking for a fight here, Alliance. And Seb, he's going to try and start it. They're trying to get rid of Hanskin, see if they can burst him with the combo. But the Raw's out onto Thompson. Hanskin's still alive. Seb, can he finally finish him off? He can. No-Tail comes in with the Rolling Thunder. They get the kill, but Thompson's going to fall to the Necro Books. They've got the chains onto S4. Follow-up Dragon Tail stuff from Seb, but there's the coverage from FNG. Lays down the Fissure. Stops them from being able to kill off S4. As OG again just losing another horrendous team fight for themselves. They lose 4, they only get Hanskin, and they really had to throw everything onto the IO to even get that kill at all.
You know, I've had some casual Dota players come in and say, I feel like I can't have much impact in the offlane. I feel like I'm always reliant upon my team to carry me, and I feel like S4 is just shutting that notion down. Like, I can't believe this. This is insane performance. 12-0-5. This is how you carry a freaking game from the offlane.
Yeah.
Last pick, they trusted him to do exactly this by giving him last pick. I guess he gave himself last pick, so he trusted himself. Hey, you know what? Faith in yourself, that's important too. But I don't know, man. This is such good play. Like, they're dying to his stuff on the ground, and it's enabling so much to happen with these squishy heroes we were concerned about.
Oh,
They're not so squishy when the threats are all just dead.
Thompson just caught outside of the base. Nico Baby's going to chase him up. He's dead. There's going to be a buyback from Saxa. If they're trying to turn this around, No-Tail looking for the angle here with the Thunder, but Limp, he's already got that Magic Immunity out and good to go. Stands his ground. It's going to be Mid-One out for the count. He has got a buyback. No-Tail trying to TP away. They're going to be able to kill him before he's even out of there, as No-Tail's out of the game. Seb and Sax are just getting pushed back to the fountain here by Nico Baby, as there seems to be very little that OG can do right now to hold Alliance back. 29-7, 18k lead. 26 minutes in Alliance, they're taking the top racks. Tier 3's down, racks are exposed. It doesn't seem like OG can hold this at all. Seb, I mean, he's got nothing here. He's trying to run, but they're underneath the tier 4s. It's getting messy. It's getting very, very messy here. As again, you know, this is so different to the Alliance that we saw the other day. This is the Alliance that the fans expected to see, and my goodness, they're getting a show right here in Game 1 against OG.
That might have been the funniest use of Echo Slam I've ever seen. FNG, no blink, but just a shard. And Echo Slam to keep the Aftershock stun on Thompson, so he wasn't able to cast any of his spells.